Hi, my name is Lauren Ostrowski, and in this presentation, we will be discussing Greek life on college campuses. More specifically, we will be discussing the hazing aspect that comes along with joining a fraternity and how it can negatively affect a student. Before we get into the argument of this discussion, it is important to have some background on the topic. More than 650 U.S. college campuses participate in Greek life. And at Clemson University, 18% of men and 32% of women are affiliated with a fraternity or sorority. So Greek life is a big part of the college experience here at Clemson, and it affects a good portion of the student body. It is important to mention that even if a student is not officially affiliated with Greek life, they can still be affected. They can still find ways to be involved. If they have a friend who is in a fraternity, they often can join in on certain functions, or otherwise make connections with the fraternity brothers in some way. So those that are in fraternity groups are not the only ones affected by acts like hazing and the Greek life organization. The purpose of fraternity or sorority life is to promote brotherhood or sisterhood, develop leadership, support philanthropic efforts, and build character and integrity within the members of the organization. That being said, these values have not always remained intact here at Clemson. Just last year, 3 fraternities were put on probation for hazing and misconduct, which does not accurately represent the values of Greek life and that of Clemson University. However, I assure you that these 3 fraternities are not the only chapters participating in misconduct. They are simply the ones that got caught or reported. This leads us into our bigger argument of the recent escalation in fraternity misconduct and the overall issue with fraternities at Clemson University. The argument that we are trying to make here is that Clemson University needs to more effectively control fraternity hazing on campus. New members of fraternities, also known as pledges, are subject to dangerous tasks. This is where hazing comes in. Hazing is any action taken or any situation created intentionally that causes embarrassment, harassment, and risks the emotional and or physical harm to members of a group, whether they are new or not, and regardless of the person's willingness to participate. Hazing is often a part of the initiation process into the organization. Therefore, it will mostly affect the pledges, which are most often freshmen or new students as they start their new chapter of life in a new environment before they've even gotten comfortable on campus yet. Some activities that pledges have had to go through that could constitute as hazing are forced consumption of alcohol or binge drinking, requirement to endure strenuous tasks such as physical labor, staying awake all night, and humiliation. At Clemson, one of the biggest cases of hazing gone wrong is that of Tucker Hips, who is pictured to the right hugging his mom. He devastatingly died at the hands of hazing. Tucker was a pledge of a fraternity at Clemson, and after he failed to bring the brothers breakfast before a pledge run, which is a somewhat trivial task, he was forced to walk the narrow railing of a bridge as punishment, in which he fell, hit his head, and was found dead hours later. This is an extreme circumstance, but it should not be looked past lightly. The life of a young boy with high potential was lost at the hands of a Clemson fraternity. As you can imagine, the parents of Tucker were absolutely devastated at the loss of their son. This story can help demonstrate how many parents often feel about fraternity hazing. No parents want to imagine such an awful event, especially just months after their child left for school for the first time. Greek life should not have to instill fear into parents, but with hazing, it's inevitable for parents to be wary of their child's safety. The parents of Tucker Hips have remained resentful towards the university and the actions that took place. No parents should have to bury a child due to hazing. Fraternity hazing has resulted in devastating events as severe as death, and it consistently risks the safety of the students involved. So these are a few pictures of hazing. And while they are not taken at Clemson University, they do a good job of showing what hazing could be like on a college campus. So the picture to the left shows humiliation and forced drinking, where they force pledges into wearing humiliating outfits. The picture to the right shows a more severe case in which a pledge is tied up, his clothes are taken off, and it looks as if he is being whipped. These just show how severe hazing can get and gives you a glimpse into what life might be like for these pledges. As discussed on hazingprevention.org, hazing is often about power and control. It gives the brothers who have seniority the opportunity to show dominance over the new members, and it often belittles the new members and shows them that the pledges are not the same as the senior brothers. It does not build unity, and it often creates a line of separation in the organization. 2 in 5 students say that they are aware that hazing takes place on campus. 55% of college students involved in clubs, teams, and organizations experience hazing. However, in 95% of cases where students identified their experience as hazing, did not report the events to campus officials. In 2019 alone, there have been 5 hazing deaths. These statistics may be shocking or not to you. However, it supports the fact that hazing does occur and legitimately risks the safety of the students at hand. This would not be a valid argument if we did not discuss the opposing perspective, that of the university and of the Greek organizations. Clemson has a clear hazing policy. They discuss that hazing is not supported whatsoever. It does not follow their core values of integrity, respect, and honesty. If there is a report of hazing, Clemson University will do what is necessary to reprimand the organization and solve the issue in the student's best interest. Additionally, there is a hotline to call and report hazing. That being said, most acts of hazing do not get reported, as we saw previously. They are simply looked past. Clemson University supports National Hazing Prevention Week, in which they promote anti-hazing and demonstrate to the students why hazing is not tolerated on campus. This video shows Clemson's Hazing Prevention Week.
I don't haze because I don't want to be hazed, and that's the golden rule. Also, I think making people do stuff that they don't want to do is not what Greek life's about, and that we should be building each other up and not tearing them down.
Hazing is bad because it promotes violent behavior.
I don't haze because you can't come back from going too far. And if you build negative habits like that in college, they're going to follow you into your post-grad life, and I don't want to be a person like that.
I don't haze because I want my new members to feel welcome to our organization, and I want them to feel respected as well.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I don't haze because it doesn't make me feel more unified to my sisters because they're too important for me, and it also doesn't build a more inclusive and wholesome Greek community.
So that video shows kind of what Clemson University is all about in respect to hazing and Greek life. The Greek organizations look to honor their values as fraternities. That would be brotherhood, philanthropy, leadership, and respect. Many organizations, if there is hazing reported, will take action, such as suspension of a chapter or removal of members who participate in hazing. There is also the stance that Greek life is a huge part of the college experience, and without fraternities and sororities, that experience is lost for the students. That being said, the next step for Greek life may not be to completely abolish them, as there are positives coming from these organizations. For all IFC chapters at Clemson University, $54,000 were raised to their respective philanthropies. In addition, all IFC fraternities at Clemson have an average GPA of 3.08. This shows that Greek organizations also promote academic focus and supporting philanthropic events. So, to alter the previous claim in this presentation, Clemson University and Greek life should focus more on the positive, uplifting aspects of Greek life that legitimately improve the student body and builds character for the members. Hazing does not even need to be a part of Greek life. There is no necessity to it. Greek life can seriously be a great thing for a student. It promotes the bond between other members of the organization, builds high morals and the desire to represent an organization in a positive light. It pushes the students to do better. This alone will not completely rid the university of hazing. However, pushing the students to do better can ignite a flame underneath them to make better choices. The biggest issue is the lack of reporting of hazing. Without anyone reporting hazing, the university may never know and nothing will come of it. That being said, if the university maintains a closer eye on these Greek organizations, hazing incidents should decrease and the student body will be safer and can enjoy the college experience without fear of hazing. These were a few of my works that I used to make this presentation. Thank you so much for listening and following along. I hope you have a great